What do you need to do if you're going to be storing lithium batteries? So let's go through the exceptions here real quick. So if you're storing batteries either packed with or more likely contained in the equipment they operate, and this would include electric vehicles, but it could include power tools and e-bikes, the storage of those products would not be covered by the fire code. So if you have laptop batteries or cell phone batteries, as long as it's packaged in its original kind of retail packaging, it's not subject to any of the requirements in the International Fire Code. So the first thing would be a threshold quantity, which is best thought of as 15 cubic feet. Somebody once told me that's about two 55-gallon drums, if you want to picture what 15 cubic feet looks like. Once you're over 15 cubic feet in a fire area, now you've triggered the codes, now you need to walk through the requirements. Step one would be an occupational permit. You now have to proactively go out to your fire code official and say, hey, here's what we're storing, here's how we're storing it, and you need to get their approval on your storage configuration and your overall safety plan. You also need to have some type of fire suppression system. The most common one would be an automatic sprinkler system. The last piece of the puzzle, this is the one that gives people the most headache. You need to store your lithium batteries in an area of your facility that is completely separated by the rest of the facility with 2-hour fire barriers. So instead of building a separate battery room, if I put my batteries inside of a container that is 2-hour fire rated, or a container that has shown that during a thermal event there will be no flame escape, you do not need to build the separate battery room if you can ensure that the batteries you're storing are at less than or equal to 30% of their rated capacity. So the thought process here is, if we can keep our batteries at less than 30%, they do not need to be in the battery storage room, because even if one battery goes to thermal runaway, it's very unlikely that it's going to generate enough heat to drive a battery right next to it to thermal runaway. What you always want to do is to understand, from your city or your state, what fire code standard is on the books and is legally enforceable. Working proactively with your fire department is a great best practice, because if you're not working with them and they're not knowledgeable about the hazards of batteries, you could absolutely run into a situation where, they're either possibly not responding to an incident because they're uncomfortable with what's on site, or, to be frank with you, even worse is they are responding to something that they don't know what the true hazards are, in which case that puts them in a lot of danger.